Well, I think it's a shame that the president had to resort to his executive authority in order to do something that Congress should have done in conjunction with the White House. This was, to my view, unnecessary step in that Congress should have done its job and provided border security funding without the necessity of the president doing this. Now the president's done it. It's going to be in the hands of the courts. I knew that this would be the next step, is that it would end up in litigation. Who knows how long that's going to take, but it will essentially tie up the funds that are the subject of the National Emergency Declaration for an extended period of time and make it hard for that construction to begin.
Do you support the president doing this, and are you concerned this sets precedent for a later president who then could declare a national emergency over something like climate change or guns?
Well, I am concerned about the precedent it sets, but so far what the president has identified is pre-existing congressional authorization. But as you know, the Congress is the one that's supposed to appropriate the money, and the president, as executive branch, is the one who executes the laws. And so this does raise legitimate questions about the separation of powers, and that's what the courts are going to have to sort out. Unfortunately, it's going to take, I think, some time before this is all becomes clear. The good news is that the construction on the physical barriers along the border that are part of smart border security can already begin to take place. But as I said, because of the partisan politics in Washington, D.C. these days, this has become a political football, and that's a shame.
But what's your take on when the president announced that he is declaring the national emergency? He responded to a reporter's question by saying, I didn't have to do this. I did this so that we can get this done faster, which many people would say would fly directly in the face of being a national emergency. What's your take on it?
Well, I think the way I interpreted that when he said I didn't have to do this is that I shouldn't have to do it, because Congress should have done its job. But obviously Congress did not, to the president's satisfaction.
Those that live along the border that don't want to be giving up their land, what do you say to those landowners that don't want to basically give up their land in eminent domain?
Well, I would say we're not going to have a continuous wall or fence from sea to shining sea. I've always said that it should be composed of three things: a physical barrier where necessary, and technology and personnel. The problem is people who say that we don't have an emergency with regard to our porous border simply don't know what they're talking about. We saw more than 70,000 Americans die of drug overdoses last year alone. 90% of the heroin that contributed to that number came from Mexico. We know that women and children are trafficked for sex and involuntary servitude by the drug cartels and other criminal organizations that make money off of that business model. And we know others are exploiting our asylum laws in order to gain a foothold in the United States in ways that are overwhelming our ability to deal with it and creating a humanitarian crisis. So I simply don't agree with those who say this is a fake emergency or that we don't need to respond. I think we do, and we're prepared to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.